2, 1, let's go. We are live simultaneously on YouTube and TikTok. Welcome back to the rabbit hole of the exposing Candice La Güerita's story times. Today's video is going to be centered on the big elephant in the room that I personally have as to why has she lied so much to her audience, okay? And before I get started, I'm going to give a chance for my TikTok girls to jump over to the YouTube chat. Let me know you guys are here and ready to go. Okay, so I've been going down a rabbit hole on a lot of just inconsistencies in Candice's stories, a lot of flat out lies, and I've been backtracking to a lot of her older content to try to put some timelines together. Okay, so what I wanted to focus on, something that caught my attention in her content as I was looking for additional clues, is the fact that Candice makes a video for a lot of important events. Birthdays. She makes a video blog birthday for her kids, for her family, Father's Day. Something I haven't been able to find anywhere is a happy anniversary video for her and Fidel. Now, why would that catch my attention? Because we've been going down the timeline of when she got married, when she got divorced, and I personally began to doubt that she's even legally married to Fidel. So I want to take you guys back to her version, her story time that she shared, that up until last weekend, this video was still on her YouTube channel. And I'm going to break apart her story time of how she got married and iced attention. And I want you guys to pay close attention, because this is going to answer our questions of why she has lied. Okay, so if you're on my YouTube channel, let me know if you can't hear the audio. This is about a 10-minute vlog on her YouTube channel where she narrates how she married Fidel and iced attention. Okay, ready? Let's go.
Also email your stories and questions to me, but don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and drop your questions and comments below. So the story that I want to tell you guys is the day that I was legally married to my husband. Now, my husband was picked.
Okay, I want to pause because somebody on my YouTube channel just asked a really good question why we're digging into this. Her legal last name is in question for a few reasons. Somebody asked, did she use the last name Garcia Sanchez for the PPP loan? Yes. The PPP loans that she pulled, she used the name of Candice Garcia Sanchez. However, her legal name is still Smith because her children are registered in the Mexican database with her maiden last name. The new baby that was just born and the other baby that she had in Mexico, which tells me that her legal last name is Smith. So how did she pull a PPP loan for Garcia Sanchez? And that's where I got intrigued into what is her legal name? Is she actually married to this man? When did she marry him? Why does she have a double identity? Why is she Smith in Mexico, but in the US, she's Garcia Sanchez, right? So it would appear to me she's using a double identity for certain things. And the one question I had was, did she pull a PPP loan for a non-existing business and an individual that doesn't exist? Which is why I'm digging into, is she actually married to Fidel? So anyway, let's go on with the story time.
Picked up, and as you've seen in the previous video, I explained how he was picked up. When he was picked up, he was held in a local jail until ICE came to pick him up.
Okay, this is important. She acknowledges that he was held in a county jail. He was held in Wasatch County, and I know that because the warrants that he has that I've already shown in previous videos directed any state officer, any police officer to transport him to Wasatch County Jail, which is where his DUI and I believe his DV is based out of.
And this was in a small town, and I was on the phone with countless attorneys from the moment that I got the call that he had been picked up. And one of the things that all of them told me was that getting legally married to my husband, because we had been together for 13 years, he had proposed 4 years prior to him being picked up.
Clock that. She says he proposed 4 years prior to him being detained. He was detained on May 2nd, 2016, and I'll show you guys receipts of that at the end of this video. She says 4 years prior, which would have made it 2012. She says he proposed in 2012. Mind you, he was in jail all of 2012. He was arrested in November 2011 for the DV. He was in jail and immediately deported in March of 2012. So when did he actually propose, Candice? Because 4 years prior to 2016 is 2012, which, mind you, she was hanging out with her ex-husband's family up until 2014. Do you see where some of this is not making sense? But let me let her finish. I'm gonna let her finish.
But one of the things that they told me was being legally married to my husband would give me legal access to information that was happening with him while he was detained. And
pause. She says the reason she married Fidel is because they told her it would give her access to certain information. Now, I have been in proceedings myself. Okay, and I was not married when they gave information to my family. A lot of you have been in similar situations. Can you guys confirm if it is a requirement for you to be legally married to someone that's been detained by ICE to receive any information from an attorney that you hired? In my personal experience, it's not. And the experience that I've seen with other people, it's not. She didn't need to marry him to hire an attorney for him or to receive any information on his case. If she would just hire an attorney, he can file his appearance into the case and they can provide her information just fine. It was not a necessity for her to marry him to be able to obtain information while he was detained. That's a flat out fucking lie. Now, there may be other reasons why she married him, like papers or, there may be other motives, but that stuck out to me because according to her, he had proposed 4 years later. So why did you need to wait till he was detained to receive? You know what I'm saying? Just want to point out some red flags, but let her finish her story.
In ICE's custody. Now, they were 100% right about this. And so I immediately got to work on making sure that I could solidify our marriage legally before ICE moved him, because I had no idea when it was going to happen.
Please hold, my stuff's freezing.
If you guys have been in this situation, you know that they don't ever tell you when they're moving your spouse or anything like that. They keep all of that very secret. And so
now real quick, so that we don't miss a timeline, okay, I want to introduce Exhibit A, which is the formal charging document from the United States government against Fidel that charged him for unlawful reentry. They confirmed that he was detained in this document on May 2nd, 2016. I want you guys to keep that date in mind, okay? May 2nd, 2016 is when he was detained.
Knew that I only had, I was basically on a time clock for it. So what I did was I contacted the facility that he was being held in. They were extremely nice and very easy to work with. They told me what I needed to do, and so I set out on this journey, and 3 days, 2 to 3 days, I think, after he was picked up was when we were legally married. And
okay, so she just gave us a date. She says 2 to 3 days, and I'm going to say 3 to give her some room for doubt. She says that 3 days after he was detained and he's being held in Wasatch County Jail, she was able to legally marry him. Now, I want you guys to understand that marrying someone in jail is not something you do quickly. There's a process. You have to obtain permission from the jail. You have to obtain a marriage certificate, which since he's in jail, he can't go appear for that marriage certificate. So you have to go through a process of obtaining his signature while he's in jail. I had to do that for a power of attorney. Then you have to find an officiant, somebody that can host the marriage, and you have to get cleared. So there's a lot of steps to be able to hold a wedding ceremony while somebody is detained. Okay, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. But she just told us that within 3 days, which would make her marriage date approximately May 5th, 2016. It's also subject to approval. The jail would need to approve them getting married. Okay, so I've never gotten married in jail, but that also throws up a red flag because that's really fucking fast. 3 days in a local jail to get married is fast. So May 5th, 2016 should be her legal anniversary. If you go back through her content, I have seen nothing ever posted about a happy anniversary video. Now, why does that matter? Because she posts everything else. She posts birthdays, her kids, her mamas, her daddies. When daddy passes away, she posts happy 8-year deportation anniversary. She frequently posts videos on important dates, but not a single time have I ever seen an anniversary video on her marriage to Fidel. All right, let's continue with her story time.
And that process, what I had to do was I had to talk to the judge in that town. And so I had a meeting with him. He was
a judge? You were able to secure a meeting with a county judge in less than 3 days? Damn.
Amazing person. He was really great to work with. And he went with me to the jail. And
so a judge was able to meet with her, take work off, and go with her to the jail. You got a judge to take time off of work to go marry you. Wow, you must have some pull there, Candice.
We had to have it approved by the jail. They were very quick about it, though, given...
Right there. She says they had to have it approved by the jail, and they were very quick about it. I call bullshit.
Circumstances. So the jail approved it. He went with me to the jail, and we were in the visitor area, which...
Now, she says, given the circumstances, I want to tell you what the legal circumstances were. This man was detained on a felony warrant out of that county. There was likely an ICE detainer on him. But all the jail was seeing is that we're holding this man for a DUI. So what would need to be the rush to expedite, some type of marriage application?
If you've been in any kind of
her dad was a state trooper. He didn't work at the jail. So, and this was in a different county. This is Wasatch County. So she doesn't have family connections within that jail.
Facility or jail before. The visiting area is separated by windows, and it has phones on the wall, or at least this one did. So it had phones on the wall, it had windows, and there's seats on one side and seats on the other side. So when we got into the jail, the judge and I were on one side, and my husband and a deputy were on the other side. The deputy acted as a witness, and we went through the ceremony. It was very quick. But the judge was very nice, and they didn't let us physically touch at all. I couldn't hold my husband's hand. I'm going to try to do this without crying. I wasn't able to hold my husband's hand, but,
I want you to start paying attention here to how she starts crying.
I remember the judge making a comment, and he said, "You're not even going to let him hold hands?" Because he was just as shocked as I was. And so we were married, and we were given a 30-minute visitation, because it wasn't a day that they were doing visitations. We were given a 30-minute visitation, and so my husband and I were able to sit and talk afterwards. And then once the visitation was over, I went to the local county clerk and filed for my marriage license.
She says she filed for a marriage license after the ceremony. Bitch, I just caught you so bad. You need a marriage license before you get married. Listen to what she said. After the ceremony, she went to the county clerks and filed for a marriage license. This didn't fucking happen. I'm telling you right now, that motherfucker is not real. That is not how it works. Y'all have been married. To get married in jail, you have to have a marriage certificate or marriage license first. They're issued before the ceremonies. Okay? This didn't happen. This story did not fucking happen. This did not happen. I hadn't caught that when I screen recorded this. Ooh, I love these. I'm so good at these. Candice, you lying ass bitch. You lying ass bitch. Who gets a marriage license after they get married? Who? When I got married, I had to get my marriage license first, and then you schedule the ceremony. The jail would not schedule a ceremony without a marriage license. And to get a marriage license, she needs his signature. Because he's in jail, she has to go through a special process to get those papers to the jail first and for them to get his signature on that application. He's a lying ass bitch, Candice. Anyway, let her finish.
My husband and I had talked a lot about what we envisioned our wedding to be. And when we were in the States, prior to this happening, my husband pushed really hard for me to go to school. And so that's...
Should I play it one more time? I feel like I need to play the part about the marriage license one more time.
Once the visitation was over, I went to the local county clerk and filed for my marriage license.
After the ceremony was over, I went to the county clerk's office and I filed for my marriage license. So you got the license after you got married is what you're saying. Oh, okay.
My husband and I had talked a lot about what we envisioned our wedding to be. And when we were in the States, prior to this happening, my husband pushed really hard for me to go to school. And so that's what I did. And we couldn't afford to do much else. We were still building a life. And so we had talked about having our big Catholic wedding and a big party with our family and friends. And
here it comes.
I remember sitting across.
Here it comes.
Standing. I remember standing across from my husband. And I remember him saying that he was sorry. I remember him saying that he was sorry.
I've been married in Utah. You first have to get a marriage license. You get it first. I don't know where y'all got married, but especially in 3 days. Remember, she said this happened in 3 days. In 3 days, she was able to do all this and get legally married to him. And then after the ceremony in the jail, she went to get she's lying. Anyway, I want you to pay attention to this part because we're segueing into why she did this.
For the way that we had to get married. And I remember telling him that it didn't matter and that the most important part was that we were going to be together no matter what happened and we were going to figure it out.
I have not found a gaming controller for the iPhone as fun as this one in a really long time. Ergonomics are the best that I've tested.
Look, we're even watching the ads for you, Candelaria.
Prior to that, I remember because I was fairly new to Catholicism.
Here's another clue. We were on the fence about is she Catholic or is she Mormon? She's Mormon, but Fidel is Catholic. So she's been LDS, married to Brian Ferguson, probably sealed. She's new to Catholicism because she's not Catholic. Fidel was. And Fidel had wanted this big Catholic wedding, which is what she's now, starting to unravel in the rest of her story. Pay attention to the emotion, how she's crying.
At the time, I remember sitting down with our priest, who was just an incredible person. And I remember telling him, if I do this, can I still have my big Catholic wedding? And of course he told me yes. And so in the live that my husband and I did together on TikTok, a lot of people asked if we were planning on doing a wedding. And we are planning on doing a wedding. But first we're focusing on building our house. And so every bit of savings that we have right now is going towards that.
Right there. Did you see what she just did? She just gave you a sob story of how I had to get married in jail. It was so hard. I cried. He cried. We weren't able to do this. We weren't able to do that. And now she's segueing into why she lied. We're segueing. So now she's saying, I do want my big Catholic wedding, but, we don't have the money. We don't have the money. So what happened? What did viewers do? Her viewers start making comments like this. And they said, we should all put up money on GoFundMe for her perfect wedding. You deserve it. After everything she's been through, she deserves it, right? People start commenting, let's donate. Let's donate for her big Catholic wedding. Here's another one. Sorry, I gotta shrink these to fit. Here's another one. We should make donations for her house instead. It's more important. The wedding can come after. So if you go to this video, you will be able to see that it triggered a bunch of her viewers saying, oh my gosh, that is so sad. That is so sad. And we should all get together and we should, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. In these videos, she had her Cash App and her Venmo linked to the description of her videos, just like this. So when people, and this is the tools, that one's next. Oh, sorry, I gotta pull this down. Let me make this bigger. Let me make this bigger right here. So all her YouTube videos included her Cash App and Venmo, right? So let me tell you what she's doing. Okay, this is a strategy. This wedding didn't happen. This wedding didn't happen the way she said it happened. I'm not saying she's not legally married. I personally don't think she is. Maybe she married him later on. This story didn't happen. It didn't happen. But she got on here. She sold you a sob story. She connected emotionally with her viewers and then encouraged them to donate to her for that big Catholic wedding because poor her. She sacrificed so much for this man. Mind you, this video is 5 years ago. This is before people knew he had a criminal record. This is before people knew why he was in jail. This is before people knew that he beat the shit out of her in front of their kid. Okay, so when we're asking ourselves, why would she lie about all these things? Why would she get on here and sell us a sob story about this wedding in jail that never fucking happened? Why? Because that's how she gets people to send in their donations. And I have another one I'm going to show. There's two perfect examples of this. This is just one. Hold on a second. Let me get my... Yeah. Let me get my story time back up. Money. Yep, money. So sorry, I had to...
So I remember sitting across us, and so every bit of savings that we have right now is going towards that. And so we're not there yet, but we'll get there eventually, because part of being in this situation, and one of the hard parts of being in this situation is trying to rebuild your life after something like this happens. But my husband tells me all the time that if we did it once, we'll do it again. And so there will eventually be the wedding that we always imagined. It won't be anything too crazy, obviously, but it'll be ours. But I think that this is an important story to tell, because I don't think that people realize some of the things that we go through as families with our spouses and our partners
who beat the shit out of us
when something like deportation affects us.
This was not at the root of deportation. This was at the root of domestic violence. So these are her earlier videos. This is about 5 or 6 years ago. So I want you guys to see the way that she was machining that pity of, this is what we've had to go through because of deportation. We are victims of the immigration system, and because of these policies, we had to get married in jail. And I didn't get to touch my husband. And it was so hard. And I just wanted my big Catholic wedding, but this is why we... Do you see what's happening here? This would have hit different if she had told people that he was sitting in prison for assaulting her. Do you think people were still going to jump to donate for this big Catholic wedding if they knew that this happened because of what he did to her? You think that would have sold the same way if people knew he wasn't in there because he was just picked up as a hard worker on his way to work and targeted by law enforcement? because that's not what fucking happened. Everything that lady went through is because of what her husband did. These are not victims of the immigration system that are now capitalizing on that empathy and are able to get their audience to emotionally engage with them. So in turn, that turns into money through donations. So a lot of people like to say she's never asked for donations. Yes, she fucking has. She just does it very strategically, very manipulative, and very low key. But this is asking for donations. This is asking for donations. Don't tell me that's not, because she lied here. This didn't happen. I'm willing to bet money. I'm willing to bet what's in my first bank account right now. That story never fucking happened. She didn't marry him in jail. At least not in those 3 days that she said. Perhaps she married him during the year that he served in federal prison, which I haven't been able to find where he served that year. But she didn't marry him in Wasatch County Jail. Why? Because I hit up Wasatch County and Cache County. Okay, I hit up 2 separate counties looking for that marriage license. And guess what they told me? Exhibit A. Guess what they told me when I reached out for a marriage license? Now, I'm not saying she maybe didn't marry him later on, but she didn't marry him in those 3 days. We do not have records of your marriage license. Why did I reach out to Cache County? Because I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. Okay, maybe she married him while he was being held by ICE. I know that the ICE detention at that time in 2016, the only contracted one that existed was the one in Cache County. I know that because I was held there. So Cache County doesn't have any records of their marriage license. Wasatch County, I wasn't able to find either. So I can tell you with a certainty, that story never fucking happened. But she got on here 5 years ago, told you this pity story and cried through it of how hard it was to marry him behind glass. I didn't get to touch him. It was so hard and I really wanted a Catholic wedding, but all that matters is that we're together now and you sent me a Venmo and a Cash App. But she's never asked for donations, right? Okay. Let me bring in a next one, okay? Because I have 2. This is a pattern and I'm going to show it to you. This isn't an isolated event. All of you that are always talking about she never asked for donations, yes, she does. And she does it just like this. Just like this. This is a psychological mindfuck. This is a way to get your audience to emotionally hook to your story. And that empathy encourages people to donate. Go read through that comment section. I showed a handful of comments on my YouTube video of people that said, we should donate for that big Catholic wedding. We want to make sure that big Catholic wedding, we should all put a GoFundMe for her perfect wedding. I would know because I've been a scammer. Absolutely. You're talking to someone that's around several in my lifetime. Which is why they hate me for it. All right, let's go on to the next one. Do you guys remember the story about the tools? Who remembers when they stole her truck and tools? Raise your hand if you remember when she got on TikTok to tell us that on New Year's Day, mind you, on January, New Year's Day, she told us a story and she waited until it was New Year's Day to show you what a rough New Year she was having. Bring in the receipts, please. Candice, I would have deleted these if I were you. All right, let's bring in the story time. The stolen tools.
Good afternoon from Mexico. So, Mexico.
Now pause. I want you to notice in this video, her child in the background. Why is her child in this video talking about how they were just victims of theft? That's a marketing strategy as well.
Here's my story about how our truck was stolen. Yep, our truck was stolen.
Pay attention to the date. January 1st, 2023. Oh, damn, Candice, on New Year's? You brought in your New Year's? Your truck was stolen on New Year's? Oh my God, this family's just having the roughest New Year's. This is strategic. There's a reason she waited to post this on New Year's.
Our truck was stolen with all of the tools for our home build. Generator, wheelbarrows, shovels, Dominic's little shovel, his little wheelbarrow.
She makes sure you know that her son's tools also got stolen. Also strategic. Everything got stolen, including the baby stuff.
Tool belt that Fidel had for over 10 years.
So she's adding sentimental value to the items that were stolen to hook you in as viewers, to get you to hook emotionally to what's going on with her.
All of the Ox tools that Ox Tools sent us, everything. It's gone. I am trying really hard to be positive, but this is a terrible way to end 2022, and I feel...
Right here. What a terrible way for me to start my New Year's. She mentioned the brand strategically. Yes, she did. Pay attention to these little clues.
Defeated right now. But I'm going to focus on all of the things that...
Here come the waterworks. Here come the waterworks. Just like the last video.
This year, because there were a lot of really good things this year. And this one bad thing isn't going to ruin any of that. However, there will be some more delays in our home builds.
Okay, so pause. The majority of her audience loves her house updates. So what has she just shared? This just happened to me, so now no more house content. That's also strategic. This is gonna set us back. We can't continue building now.
Filed the police report. We're waiting on the insurance to get back to us. We don't know yet if they'll cover the tools.
Mind you, she just mentioned they have insurance. And they haven't even heard back from the insurance. So before they even know if what the insurance is going to replace, she's already running to social media to cry about what happened. And we just lost all of this. But mind you, this is before the insurance has even told her what they're going to cover. So this isn't a case of the insurance fucked us and she knows she has insurance.
But I don't think they're going to recover our truck or our tools. So it's going to take us a minute to...
Yes, we have insurance on Mexico.
Recuperate all of those tools, build those back up, and
here come the waterworks.
Work on getting a new truck because we just paid for a roof. So
this is where she starts telling you we don't have money. The same way in the marriage story where she was like, we really want that wedding, but we just don't have the money right now because we're focusing on our house. Same thing right here. Same thing. We don't have the money because we just paid for the roof. Notice the same pattern, the same strategic marketing. Same thing.
Oh, we're a little tapped out, and we don't need anything for you guys. I share a lot of really good things on here, and
we don't have money. We just got these things just got stolen from us. We don't know if the insurance is going to cover, but we don't need anything from you guys because I'm just here to share the good things about our life. But we don't need anything from you except for Cash Apps and Venmos, and they're in my bio. Literally what she did.
I'm sharing this because I know people are going to ask what's going on with the house and why.
Well, people have also asked about your first marriage, and you seem to find ways to avoid talking about that. People have asked a lot of things. She's been able to avoid talking about a lot of things that she wants to keep private. But because I know you're going to ask, I got to tell you, we also want to know about Mr. Ferguson, Candice. We also want to know who's the pappy. We also want to know a lot of things that she hasn't addressed. So she chose to talk about this because she knew what it would bring. Not because people were going to ask, because we've been asking a lot of things fucking since. Haven't we, chat?
It's taking so long and, because we have to get all new tools. So... send us some good vibes.
Or Cash Apps and Venmos is what she meant.
We're going out of 2022 with a bang, I guess. But
again, she reminds you this is New Year's. This is how we're starting our New Year's, guys. This is so unfortunate because it's New Year's Day. She posted this on New Year's Day.
2023 is going to be good. And I still believe that. So, through the good and the bad, thanks for being here. And just remember that it's going to be a minute before you see a house date. But
okay, remember, This is her strategic way. If you guys don't help us, it's going to be a minute before we can continue. Remember that MBA? You guys always remind me that she works and she built her house with A, B, C, and D. Where's that MBA now? If she's built her house independently of social media, why did she make this video? Why did she need help to continue? Why was it going to take her so long? If she's got that MBA and she's got income and she's got it like that, why did we need to make this video? Why did she need your help to continue her build when just the tools and truck were stolen? Where's that MBA, Candice, in January 1st of 2023? Where's that online business she has? Where's that business for the PPP loans she has? Where is that shit?
House update, but we'll get one.
Okay. So then, in her comment section of that video, one of the first comments that she liked said, can we help send you money to get the tools needed? Let us know. Like. You see this shit right here? Like. Now, why would you like that? Because as a content creator, can we all collectively agree that when a content creator likes a comment, we're co-signing it? Somebody asked, can we help you? Can we help you get the tools that you need? Please let us know. Liked. This is still on her page. Y'all can go look for it. She might delete it by now, but this is from her page. This is from her video. Right here. 118 comments. I took this over the weekend. Okay. Oh, it gets better. So when that happened, her chat blew her up with ways to help. Let's see part 2.
Hello from Mexico. So I wanted to answer a couple questions that are coming up on our post about our truck being stolen. But first, please don't use that post as an excuse to bash Mexico. Cars get stolen everywhere, all the time. It's not just Mexico. So please don't do that. We did have insurance on the truck, and we are currently waiting for the insurance company to get back to us. And
so she confirms the truck's going to get replaced. The truck is insured. So why did we even need to mention that the truck was stolen? It's insured. It's been insured. So that was never going to be a loss.
Let us know, if they're going to cover the tools or just the truck and what that looks like. And we've also had a lot of people reach out and ask if they can help. And some of you already know our Venmo and Cash App. So to those that have sent stuff, we very much appreciate it.
Okay, people were already sending her Venmos and Cash Apps. Ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. I remember what that sounds like. I just know her Cash App lit up. It lit up when she liked that comment. It lit up when she got on here and cried about the tools and how we won't be able to continue. So one, she confirms that the truck is insured and she's already receiving Cash Apps and Venmos at the root of those videos. Mind you, this video, 339,000 likes, which has a ton of views. She also posted videos on her monetized YouTube channel. So in addition to these donations, she's monetizing these videos. Like a lot. Okay?
Sent messages to the ones that we could, but we do intend on treating that like a loan and paying you back.
I have a question for those of you that donated. The majority are probably still her fans. Did anybody ever get paid back? She stated here she was going to pay everybody back that donated for those tools. Just wondering if there's any of you that may have seen the light that want to come and say, actually, no, she never refunded me, but she said she was going to pay back the people that sent in donations for her tools.
Revenue to recuperate the tools so that we can get back to building our home. And the good thing is that the roof is going to start before that, so you'll see some updates. And lastly, just thank you. Thanks for always...
Yeah. So then, oh my gosh. So then, you know what happened? The brand sent her the tools. Ox tools replaced.
Candice recently ran into some trouble earlier this month because her family's work.
I'm gonna mute this so I don't run into any copyright
My friend
issues.
Candice
But I don't need to play it the
recently
entire
ran into
thing.
some trouble
Okay.
earlier
She
this month because her family's
posts
work
this
truck was
unboxing
stolen. All of
blog
their tools inside the truck were taken, leaving them with nothing
repins
to
them
use for their current
or
home build.
she stitches
Today
them.
we're sending out replacement tools
The brand
to cover all the ox
replaces
tools
all
that
the
were
tools that
stolen.
were stolen.
We hate to see bad
Look at
things
her.
happen
She's
to
over
good
here.
people. Show
Oh
them
my
some
gosh.
support
Thank you so
by following
much.
them on
Please show them
TikTok
lots of
and
love.
YouTube.
She shouts out the brand. Now, mind you, she had mentioned the brand in her original video. So, of course, people were going to tag the brand, right? So, the insurance covered the truck. The brand replaced all the tools. And, Fidel was a huge fan of the tools. Let me show you the unboxing for the tools.
It's the aux tools, replacement tools that they sent us, and I wanted to show you guys. So they basically just replaced everything that was stolen in the truck, but I want to show you guys.
There you go. The brand replaced everything that was stolen, and the insurance covered her truck. So all those donations that they sent were a profit, and the monetization off those videos also a profit. So not only did she not take a loss, she took a profit off of what happened to her.
Fidel's favorite part. This is his favorite thing that aux tools sent. Like, he's obsessed with his hammer. This man. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened is they were able to monetize from the situation. They got additional donations. They got all of the tools replaced, and they got a brand new truck from the insurance. Yeah. Must be nice. But she's never asked for donations, right? She doesn't need social media. She didn't build her house because of viewers. She didn't build her house with social media. She built her house because of her MBA. Right? Okay. So here's two separate instances that you can compare and see the pattern in her content and how she gets on here. She shares a sob story, and then people hook and engage and donate. Not only do they donate, they engage with her monetized content. Brands are even sending replacements and whatever. And this is what I mean where we're talking about white privilege. Has aux Tool sent in tools for anybody else living in Mexico that was a victim of a crime? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, so the reason why I wanted to show these two videos back to back is so that you guys can see the pattern. The strategic way in how she hooks these donations, how she words her content, and how she flat out lies certain things that never happened. Who knows if the tools actually got stolen? Who knows if her truck actually got stolen? We've never seen no receipts. We never saw no police report. Do you guys see the pattern in these two separate instances of the stolen tools and the big Catholic wedding? Or is it just me? Or am I just a hater? Am I just a hater? Am I just jealous? I didn't see nothing on the stolen truck. And even if it was, the insurance covered it. Why are we running to social media on New Year's Day with the child in the background, reminding you that the child's toys were also stolen? It's been such a bad year. We don't have money. We just paid for the roof, but we don't need anything from you guys, but we won't be able to continue building our house for some time. Why do you think the house is taking so long? The house is marketing. The house is donations. How many people a month do you think donate to her story? How many people a month do you think send her Cash Apps and Venmos for different things on the house? The reason why the house has taken so long is because it's their marketing strategy to hook in donations, just like this. Just like this. Not because she doesn't have money. They have so much money, which I'm not hating, get your bag. But what I'm trying to show is the way that the community has been exploited by her story. Because this is flat out exploitation. What she did with the tools, exploitation. What she did with the big Catholic wedding, exploitation. And then these people are looking at this glamorized story. Do you think they're going to want to donate to the big Catholic wedding if they knew why he was in prison? Do you think it's a let's support the big Catholic wedding when he beat the shit out of her? Now, let's go back to the wedding. Because some of you mentioned her proposal video. Do you guys remember? She shared a story. She shared a story on her proposal. Do you guys remember? We just did some math that wasn't mathing. So, quick commercial break. Let me... Oh, did I screen record that one, or am I going to have to go back? Candice, don't private it from us, okay? Don't private it from us. She made a story time on when her husband proposed to her, and I'm going to show you how this is a lie as well. Fuck, I'm good. Hold on. Here we go. It's not very long.
Aquí los conductores son como tú, les importa la seguridad.
Now,
por eso pasan por diversos filtros de verificación.
Before I show you this story time of when he proposed to her, keep in mind we've gone through some dates. She alleges that they were married on May 5th, 2016. Okay? And she says in this video, in the marriage story time, she says that he proposed to her 4 years prior. That would make it 2012. This story time tells us it was
Welcome back to
Valentine's
my YouTube
Day.
channel. So I wanted to do another story time where I told you guys the story of one of the times, something, not one of the times, but something for me and my husband's past. So the story that I wanted to tell you was the day that he proposed. So my husband and I have been together for 13 years now, and we've been legally married for 4 of those years. However, when Diego was between 4 and 5 years old, my husband actually proposed to me.
4 and 5 years old. Keep that in mind, okay? Now, in the marriage video, she said 4 years prior, which would make it 2012 because they were married in 2016 when he was detained by authorities and charged for unlawful re-entry on May 2nd, 2016. For reference, here's a receipt. He was charged by federal authorities for being in the United States after being removed on May 2nd, 2016. Keep that date in mind.
And it had been a really, really long day at work. And I was in a terrible, terrible mood. And Fidel had been working out of town in another state. And he had just come back. It was the day after Valentine's Day. And it's funny because I remember being a little upset.
Okay, so this would make it February 15th, 2016. Okay, 2016. No, I'm sorry, 2012. She just confirmed the date is February 15th, 2012. Are we all on the same page here? Now, before I let this story continue, I'm going to remind you from the receipts that I already showed you that he was arrested in November 2011 and detained and deported in March 2012. So he was in jail when she says this happened. Are you following me? Do you need me to show you receipts? Do you need me to show you the court records again that I've already showed on my other videos? I will. I don't have them right offhand in my file that I was going to show today, but I'll pull them. Do you want me to pull them? Do you want me to pull them? Let's pull them, just in case people haven't watched the other videos. Please hold for receipts. Okay, this here shows the domestic violence incident was the offense date. He pled guilty February 16th, 2012. How the fuck did he propose? On February 15th, 2016, or 2012, I'm sorry. How did he propose on February 16th, 2012? She claims that a day before he pled guilty, he proposed to her. Go look. Please go fucking look. Please go to my YouTube channel and look. She just confirmed the dates. She said a day after Valentine's Day, which would make it February 15th, 4 years prior to the day that they got married, which was 2016, that would make it February 15th, 2012. How did he propose if he had just pled guilty and he was detained since November 2011 and deported on March 2012? Give me my fucking flowers right now, you hating ass bitches. Give me my flowers right now. Give them to me. Let me show you the record. I want to find the receipt where it tells you that he was deported in March 2012. for the first time. It was his I've already showed it. Somebody co-sign me, please, and tell me that you've already seen it. I didn't have it ready here, but there was a court filing his probation report. Somebody just co-sign me, please. Can somebody co-sign me that you've seen this receipt where his probation officer confirmed he was deported in March 2012 for the first time? Oh, right here. Right here. Coming. She said he just came home from out of state. John, what she meant was he called me on the jail call. You know what? He probably proposed to her when he was in jail, bitch. He said, "Give me my papers right here." This proposal was actually over the phone from the jail cell. Okay, so right here, his probation report confirms the defendant was released from Wasatch County Jail to the custody of ICE. The local ICE office we contacted verified that the offender was deported on March 7th, 2012. Okay, so she claims he proposed to her on February 15th, 2012, but the court records determined he was in jail on that date. He pled guilty the day after to assaulting her, and then he got deported in March. So the proposal was actually, can you marry me so they don't deport me? But let me finish her. Now play her story time. Now that you know the dates, now that you just saw the court records, listen to her fucking story.
Because
let me start this over. We're gonna start it all over now.
good evening from Mexico, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I wanted to do another story time where I told you guys the story of one of the times something.
God, I'm good.
One of the times
God, I'm
something
fucking
from me
good.
and my husband's past. So the story that I wanted to tell you is the day that he proposed.
I'm gonna show you
My husband
TikTok.
and I have been together for
You deserve
13
some
years
receipts.
now, and we've been legally married for 4 of those years. However, when Diego was between 4 and 5 years old, my husband actually proposed to me. And it had been a really, really long day at work. And
What she means is it was a long day in the jail cell.
And Fidel had been working
Go to my
out of
YouTube to
town,
watch the rest.
in another state, and he had just come back. It was the day after Valentine's Day. And it's funny because I remember being a little upset because everybody that I worked with got flowers and all kinds of stuff for Valentine's Day, and I
And all I got was a beat down, is what you should have said,
didn't get
Candelaria.
any of that, which was Fidel's normal thing, and now does.
Tell me this story isn't hitting different already. This man was in jail when she's telling that this did not happen. This did not happen, Candice.
Important, but it was his normal thing. And I didn't get any of that because he was actually out of town.
He was in jail, bitch. That's why he didn't get no fucking flowers. She said he didn't get no flowers for Valentine's because he was out of town. Bitch, he was in jail for beating your ass. How was he supposed to buy you flowers, you crazy, psychotic, lying ass bitch? I'm so sorry.
Calling Fidel, and he had picked up Diego from daycare, and he was so excited. He said, "What do you want to do for dinner? Do you want to make something?" And I remember I was so incredibly grumpy, and I told him, "No, I don't want to do any of that. Let's just order pizza." And he was like, "Well, I think maybe we should do something nice for dinner." And I was like, "No, we're just gonna order pizza." And I was adamant on it. And I remember getting really upset because, we have long days like that, and I got upset and told him, "I don't understand why we can't just get pizza."
Because he's in jail, bitch. He can't order you pizza from jail. You guys, you're watching my live reaction because I actually hadn't pieced some of this together myself. I hadn't put the dates together until just now. So I was going to just show you guys a story about the marriage and how it didn't add up. This was not on my bingo card. I just pieced together the dates with you guys. So you're getting my live reaction because I am livid. I am livid that this bitch continuously does shit like this. And look at her face as she's telling you the story. Look at how she's dead ass looking in the camera, flat out lying to you. All of us. This video's still on there, by the way. Sorry,
and told him, "I don't understand why we can't just get pizza." And then I remember he told me, "Okay, that's fine. We'll just do pizza." And I told him, "All right, I'll see you when I get home." And I was so close to getting home, And I walked up the stairs to our apartments, and I walked into my apartment, and there were a bunch of candles lit everywhere. And Diego was holding his bouquet of roses. And my husband was he was standing by the kitchen table, and on the kitchen table was a bear. And it was Valentine's Day bear, with the year on its foot. And there were more flowers and chocolates, and sitting right in front of the bear was a ring. And we had always talked about getting married, and so I knew that it was going to happen, but he had never actually proposed, and I honestly didn't.
So was it maybe it was Ferg you said that was proposed?
And we had Diego together and that. I didn't think that I was going to get some big romantic gesture, but I remember looking around and the entire house was clean, and Diego looked so excited, and Fidel took...
I want you guys to notice how many times she mentions her child as she's straight out lying. When you guys tell me we should protect the kids, we should do this or that, she's using her own children to boost these lies. How many times did she mention how happy her son was? This shit didn't happen. This shit didn't happen. He didn't propose to her. He was in fucking jail. So pay attention to the way that she uses her children to back her lies, to as marketing when she's asking for donations. That is disgusting to me. That's fucking gross.
The ring off the table, and Diego said, "Dad wants to know if you'll marry him." And I remember crying a lot, and I remember apologizing a lot because I was such a jerk on the way out when I talked to him. And I remember it not being big and grand, but being absolutely perfect. So this was a shorter story, but it's one of my favorites. And there are a lot of little moments in our relationship that remind me of why I'm spending my life with this man. And I think that is definitely a testament to one of them. So don't forget that you can email me at @2lauri.
I'm fucking done with her. So how y'all feeling? Am I just a hater? Am I just a fucking hater? Tell me now. Am I just a fucking hater? It's not my fault. I'm good at this shit, okay? I know a lying ass bitch when I see one. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to donate. Yeah. So she's out here fucking spinning these stories, using her child as a prop, the way that Carlos says we should not. Children are not props and they're not storylines, right? Here's one. Here's fucking one. The amount of times she said Diego and Diego and Diego and Diego and Diego and Diego. Shame on her for the way she's used her children to back up these fucking lies to get money out of people. Shame on her as a mother. Shame on her as a creator. And shame on the rest of you that support this type of bullshit. That is a compulsive liar if I've ever seen one. The way she told that story in such detail, it's my favorite. The flowers, the pizza, Diego. Pay attention. That's a compulsive fucking liar. He was in jail when she said that happened. He was in fucking jail for DVing her when that alleged proposal happened. The chocolates, he had been out of town on work. Bitch, he was in jail. It had been such a long day of fighting with him. Fighting with my baby daddy through the jail calls, is what she should have said. And here's my email, and make sure to subscribe, you guys. Are you guys disgusted yet? Am I still just a hater? A hater with receipts, bitch. If I do say so myself. Yeah. But that's your favorite creator up there. But Annie's a liar. Annie's a scammer. Annie got deported for fraud. Don't listen to anything she says. She's just a liar. I'm still the person that they're questioning the credibility. That person hasn't been questioned once. Not once are people questioning her credibility. A lot of people owe me fucking apologies that will never come. That will never arrive because it's me. So when you guys say kids are off limits, they're not off limits when people are spinning lies to get money and donations. They're not off limits when they're in the background trying to get sympathy from viewers for things that never fucking happened. Her kids are not off limits for her. So how would she expect them to be off limits for other creators that are making commentary on her fucking content? Mind you, I'm not attacking her children. I'm not attacking her children at all. But they're part of her fucking web of lies. She has dragged in her children all on her own. All on her own. And her children are entangled in this mess with this digital footprint because of these lies that she has propped her children behind so that people would believe them. So when you want to tell me that kids are off limits, go tell her they should be off limits for her fucking sob story ass lies to get money out of people. Okay. Damn, that was good. I was not expecting that. I did not have that on my roster today. I just had the marriage storyline and the tool set to try to show you guys how she grifts. But that we discovered that together on live because I hadn't put the dates together. I hadn't narrowed down the exact dates with the court dates. I wonder if maybe fucking Ferguson was the one that was... All I know is if a proposal happened, it was on a fucking jail call. It was on a jail call because he needed her to marry him to save his ass, because I bet you she put him in jail. This is all going to make a lot more sense when that police report comes back. I suspect she had a lot to do with why he went to jail on that DV. I suspect that there's something there behind that first deportation that she never mentions. There's a reason she doesn't mention it. Remember, my first question in all of this was, why doesn't she talk about that first deportation? Why do all her storylines start in how their life was turned upside down in 2016? What about 2012, bitch? This is where she tells people they've been together for 13 years plus. When people are like, why does her second marriage matter? This is why it matters, because she's telling us these fabricated stories that don't make no fucking sense if she's married to somebody else. No, we don't give a fuck if she has multiple baby daddies or had multiple boyfriends, but the reason why it matters in the storyline is because she's selling us something that didn't happen. How the fuck are you talking about? And then I haven't even brought up the fucking screenshots with the ex's family in 2012. She was hanging out with Ferguson's family, having family dinners and swim dates with her ex's family during that time. So it contradicts all these fucking stories she's out here spinning, and we as viewers are just fucking confused, and we would like to clear up the timeline is all. We don't give a fuck if she's out there, swinging her cat left and right, but leave us the fuck out of it when you're over here telling us these crazy stories that didn't happen. They didn't happen. That jailhouse wedding didn't happen. That proposal didn't happen. It didn't happen. Now, she may have gone on to marry him later on. I still personally suspect she's not legally married to Fidel, which is why she's still legally a Smith. So my next question is, if you're still legally a Smith, how the fuck and why the fuck are you pulling PPP loans under Candice Garcia Sanchez? Are you pulling loans for a non-existing person? When you apply for a PPP loan, do you have to provide identification? I just have more questions. I have more questions on all of this stuff because the math is not mathing. I think I'm about to uncover some serious PPP fraud. Like some serious PPP fraud, because I heard that people pulled them for non-existent businesses. Now, her PPP records show that the business name is Candice Garcia Sanchez. So is it possible that she titled her business that, but that's not her legal name? She's a fucking Smith. She's a Smith. Reason why I think she's a Smith. Hold on. To my girl, Felly. There is some receipts. She shared a screenshot of her Mexican resident card that I want to show you guys. Felly, are you watching? Felly, send that shit to me one more time. I lost it somewhere in our chat here. Hold on. Sally, there you are. Can you email me again the screenshot of her resident card real quick? If you don't mind. I can't seem to quickly find it in my book of receipts. Let me see if I can. I don't even think I screenshot it. Even if she wanted to take Fidel's last name, you don't take his. So the reason his last name is Garcia Sanchez is because that's his father's paternal last name and his mother's maiden name. When you get married, you don't take both. You just take Garcia. You don't take Garcia. She wouldn't take Garcia Sanchez. Her Bible of receipts. Yeah, I just can't. Hold on, let me see. Let me try again. We were trying to figure out her status as well. And we were trying to figure out, is this bitch a Mexican citizen? But then... resident... I can't find it. I'll wait for Felly to see if she sends it to me. Hopefully she does. So, the next mystery here is the PPP loans. Now, I want you guys to ask yourselves a question. I've just unveiled multiple lies that she has made to you guys. Do you still believe the statement that she made that all the PPP loans that she obtained were done lawfully? Do we still take her word? Because you guys know that she recently issued a response last month when she skimmed over the PPP loans. Any assistance we've gotten has all been law abiding. Do you still believe that those PPP loans were obtained lawfully, in compliance, knowing how she moves, knowing how comfortable she is with lying, knowing how long she's been lying for? I don't need the receipts to tell you she committed fraud. I'm confident she committed fraud on those PPP loans. Yep. Certain she committed fraud. I already showed it. The employees that she was going to be paying with those PPP loans had to live in the United States. Who the fuck was she employing during COVID? She had just started content. She doesn't have another business. Her business is content creating. So who was she employing during COVID that lived inside the U.S. to obtain those PPP loans? She can't pay herself. She doesn't live there. For those of you that kept saying, it's okay because she has a U.S.-based business. Okay, but the application clearly states that the employees that were going to be paid had to reside inside the U.S., so it can't be her. She can't use those loans to pay herself because she doesn't live in the U.S. So who was she paying? Who was she paying that lived inside the U.S.? What the fuck was her sister doing for her? Those of you saying that's her sister. What was she doing for her? What employees did she have as a content creator? What employees do you possibly have as a starting content creator during COVID? Which, mind you, COVID was popping for content creators. We were all home and consuming content. So who the fuck is she employing during COVID? Nobody but herself. Nobody. Prove me wrong. Those PPP frauds were fraud. Those PPP loans were fraud. Fraud, 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 fraud. De ahí no me sacan. The same way the rest of these fucking stories were fraud. The proposal, the big Catholic wedding, the stolen trucks and tools. Yeah, my ass. Those of you that obtain PPP loans, do tell us the application process. And then, to boot, not only did she pull them, she had them forgiven. How'd she get them forgiven? Why would they forgive them? So some of you may have obtained them. Some of you help people obtain them. Some of you try to get forgiveness. I saw people commenting on my other videos. How did she get them forgiven? I wasn't able to get mine forgiven. How did she do it? What's the process? What do you have to provide to not only to obtain them, but to get them forgiven? In essence, free money that she got from all you taxpayers for her house. There were 2 loans in the amount of $5,500, so a total of about $11,000 she was able to obtain for free. Mind you, this is during the time she's getting donations, Cash App and Venmos. She's monetizing YouTube. She's monetizing TikTok. She has her MBA. Y'all keep telling me she has her MBA. So what does she need these loans for? Or did she just see an opportunity and grabbed it? If she was struggling so bad, why was she simultaneously beginning the build of a new house? If you're a struggling business owner during COVID, are you going to be contemplating to take on an entire new build? Just some common fucking sense. If I'm a small business owner, I'm struggling so bad, am I gonna take on a new house build in the middle of me struggling to pay my employees? Yes or no? Probably not. She probably filed for bankruptcy. Oh, you know what? Let's look up some Should we look up some bankruptcy records? Candice, I haven't looked you up in Pacer yet, girl. All right, let me look up and see if she has any bankruptcy. Bankruptcies are also public records. They're federal records, but they're public. Should we look up her bankruptcy? Okay, let me take a potty break. That was somebody else's idea. Okay, I hadn't thought about that. Let me go potty. You guys want to go outside? Okay. You guys probably got to go potty. I need chisme bucks. Oh, you got me putting in work. Okay, we need chisme bucks. Search for a case. Let me see what I can find on Pacer, which is where any bankruptcy cases would be registered. Did you wash your hands? What's that shit? Hand sand. Hand sand. Search. Let me log in. And if I didn't wash my hands, don't worry. Nobody else touches my keyboard. Just me. Loading. Someone asked anything on Fidel being mayor. I don't know. I haven't looked up Fidel here. Please look up. You can't sue people for using public. Who's trying to sue me? I love me a good challenge. She's trying to sue me with her NDA style shit. I would find cases. Let me see. New search. Advanced case party. Title. Smith. I found something. Hold on. Let me not get too ahead of myself. Hold on. Let me wish. Hold on. Her brother-in-law mentioned he didn't watch her videos because he knows the truth. What brother-in-law? Oh, Victoria, thank you so much for the Tuesday bucks. Hold on. This is Kansas and this is Washington. Maybe it's not her. I got a little bit excited. I just saw her name. Okay, there's another Candice Marie Smith in Kansas and Washington. I don't know that this is her. 2011. I don't think this one's her. All right, let me try another search. Nothing on Garcia Sanchez, because that name probably don't fucking exist. There's no Garcia. There's 2 Smiths, but they're not in Utah. No Garcia either. Your typing sounds big. It's not. How about just Candice Smith? None in Utah. She seems to have lived in her life the majority of Utah, so I don't think any of these belong to her. Check for liens. I did. She has there's another Candice Smith in Utah that I didn't care to sift through it because I didn't feel like financial records were that important, or liens or defaulted credit cards. Smith Murray. She's a white girl. She doesn't have 2 names. She's a white girl from Utah. They don't have the same cultural, like, she has 1 last name. Before Fidel, she's a Smith and only a Smith. She doesn't have a second variation. She doesn't have, and it doesn't appear that she was ever a Ferguson either, because her divorce decree doesn't include an order to change her legal name back to Smith, which tells me that she never took Ferguson. Otherwise, she would need that court order to go back to Smith. Share your screen? No, top secret. Damn, Candice, keeping up with your lies is a full-time fucking job. Oh my God. I have never seen something webbed this bad. Trying to untangle it is a full-time fucking job. Fidel just has his, find parties. Last name, Smith. I'll do Fidel in a second. Fidel only pulled up the federal case for the unlawful reentry. Exact matches. No results. Well, that's a lie. Have you looked at her sister's criminal records? No, because that's irrelevant to me, honestly. All I need to know about her is that bitch is a Trump supporter and shouldn't be writing letters of support for anybody in deportation proceedings. Look her up on True People Search. I don't use those third-party sites. They're not as reliable as actual court sites. A few of you have emailed me like, oh, I found her on this site. I only go off court records. Those third-party sites are not as reliable. School is great. Thank you. Oh, man. Okay, no bankruptcy for Candice Smith. I don't want to pull back the other records on Utah. I'm pretty sure I've pulled what I need to off the Utah site. And those records contradict a lot of her story times, as we just saw. The marriage, the proposal, and then the tool story time was also interesting. So what have we learned, friends? She's a pathological liar, period. Her platform has been built on lies. That house was built from lies and PPP loans. That wasn't built with no fucking MBA. Her house is not being built with no fucking MBA. In fact, I suspect she doesn't even have an actual job. I think she does content creation full time, which there's nothing wrong with that. But she's not going to tell you that. She's going to keep telling you that. And the constant mention of that MBA, the constant MBA, that has to do with the title. That has to do with the classism. She wants you to know she has an MBA. She's never done no content on her work, what she does. because I don't think she does it. I don't think she's employed at all. I think she lives solely off of social media. Oh, that's a good idea. Is that MBA even real? How do we look up a license? There's got to be. What's her fucking MBA in? Watch her not even have a fucking degree. It would not surprise me. I've never seen no pictures of her graduation. In Khloe Kardashian voice, liar. Yeah, look, I'll leave that for you guys to do some homework on. Tell me if you can find her MBA. And in her character letter for what's his face, she said she had degree in criminal justice and MBA in business administration. Utah Division of Professional Licensing. Let's look it up. What can we find? Apply for a license, verify a license. If her MBA don't pull up, I'm so done with her. All right, what did we say it was? I need somebody to confirm. All right. I know she wrote it in her character letters. Let me pull up the character letters really quick. Character letter. So in her character letter, in the immigration case for Fidel, she says she has master's in business administration and a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and human services. Let's check. But that's not a license. That's a degree. Where did she graduate from? No thanks. All right. Let me just look up Smith. Criminal justice is an interesting area for her to specialize in, right? All right. I don't see anything for a Candice Marie Smith. I just did a license lookup. Look, let me show YouTube real quick. We're not done. Hang tight, Candice. There's still hope. Maybe we got it wrong. Suzanne Cepeda Bestie, thank you so much for the Cheeseman bucks. Thank you. Okay, so let me show you my screen really quick. What I'm looking for. Okay, so this is the Utah website for license lookup and verification. Nothing for a Candice Marie Smith, but I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's not a license. Where do we look up an actual just degree? You can have a master's without a license. Yes, you can have a bachelor's without a license. So point me to the right direction of where we verify those licenses. Would an MBA require a license? Yeah, nothing for her. The state of Utah does not have any active licenses for Candice Smith. Now, in Mexico, we have a database where we can look up anybody that's graduated, anybody with a title. So, is there... Let's ask ChatGPT. Let me ask ChatGPT. Utah State Board. Contact the university. National Student Clearinghouse. Many schools have degree verification services like National Student Clearinghouse. All right, let me look. It's under La Guarita LLC. I already have her LLC. That doesn't tell me if she actually has a degree. Chat, you might have to do homework on this. Because I question everything. Oh, studentclearinghouse.org/verify. $20. I don't know about this. I need a free database. Y'all can take a stab at it. If any of you guys don't take a stab at it, y'all have her info. You can plug it in here. You can verify if she has a degree through the National Certain Clearinghouse and pay for it. I don't want to pay for it. Price per confirmed verification. I'm submitting a verification request on behalf of a company. I'm submitting a verification for myself. Oh, it says you cannot submit a verification request for another individual unless you represent a company. We don't represent a company, so this would be a dead end for us. Look, I want to be mindful that I'm very ethical in what I'm pulling up. Okay, so if this is not a public record, I'm not going to lie and dive into something that I shouldn't have access to, okay? Believe it or not, we have ethics here. So this tells me I can't ask for a verification request unless I'm a company, which I'm not a company. That's out of the picture. Use studentclearinghouse.org. That's where we went. Have our ChatGPT for students and learners, for businesses, automatic verifications, about transcripts. Someone said, I'm a company. Stop. School records are only available when you verify for employment purposes. That's fair. That's fair. Is Annie GRC a company? No. Okay. Yeah, check professional profiles like LinkedIn. School names, watch for red flags. You can also check if the schools are accredited via U.S. Department of Education. What about... There's no public database you can just search, but the combination of diploma plus register verification is the gold standard. So, yeah, I'm not going to dive into it if it's not public record. I'm not going to dig into stuff that is not supposed to be public. But personally, I doubt everything on her page, including if she actually has an education, including if she's actually employed by, these US-based companies or clients or whatever. I question everything. I personally believe she lives off of her platform and the donations that she accrues through said platform, which is why her house has taken so long to build. I don't have a LinkedIn. Analia, can you send me screenshots? I don't have a LinkedIn, so it doesn't let me view. Sometimes it's full publishers. Well, y'all can look. I'm just here for the cheese, not trying to do any actual work. Thank you for the $20 cheese nut bucks, bestie with the construction LLC. He said, I'm a company. This might be something you guys can research into it. I personally don't think any of that is real. The same way her marriage is not real. The same way the proposal wasn't real. The same way the stolen truck and tools probably weren't real. These are just my personal opinions based on the research that I've done on this individual, based on the moral character that I've been able to uncover through research, through contradictions, through court records. I believe it's all a lie. I believe it's all a lie, and her platforms are her cash cow, and exploiting this community is a way that she's been able to not only sustain her family, but also to build that house. That house was built by exploiting this community. BYU. I think she went to Dixie State. Of course she went to BYU because she's a fucking LDS. They all go to BYU. Yeah. Also, I want you to think about this. If she does have her MBA and she services clients with her MBA, why doesn't she have an LLC for those services, the same way she has one for content creating? logically, wouldn't you expect her to also create an LLC, to have a client portfolio, to have an entire, like, not platform, but like for me personally, where I work for US based clients and companies, I have an entire like what database of my clients, of the work that I do, accounting, all of that separate from content creation. So would it not make sense for her to also have an LLC for those services that she gives as an independent contractor? Why only for the content creation? See where I'm going with this? She is on LinkedIn. Somebody already found her, or found a... I think, I haven't researched what school she went to, but I'm sure she shared it on her platform by now. Especially for clients. Don't you think she would be recruiting or obtaining clients through social media if she did? The way that she uses social media for absolutely everything in her life, why doesn't she use it to pick up clients? And don't tell me it's because she doesn't have a need for it. One plus one equals two. I've heard her say she's employed by a company. We've heard her say a lot of things. We also heard her say that Fidel proposed to her on February 15th, 2012 when he was sitting in jail. We also heard her say that she got married to Fidel. We've heard her say a lot. We also heard her say that Fidel didn't have a criminal background at all, that he was supported for entering the U.S. at 17 with no papers. We've heard her say a lot of things. So her saying, we've also heard her say that she's been with Fidel for 13, 15 years when she was married to somebody else. We've heard her say a lot of things that are straight out fucking lies. Lies. The way this girl lies is a full-time job trying to unravel those fucking lies. I can't imagine what this is like. Can I tell you, as a content creator that has been through several fucking roller coasters of drama and this and that, I can't imagine the anxiety she's living through right now, watching her entire story be exposed for the amount of lies that she's told. And this isn't all of them. These are just the ones that I'm catching. Imagine all the things she's actually lied about, that I'm not going to get everything. I'm not going to find receipts on everything. I wonder how much I wonder what this feels like. The way I would be behind, like, I know she's watching all of these. She's watching every single live because she needs to know exactly how much I'm telling, how much I've uncovered, and how much she has to clean up. What's that feel like, Candice? I gotta be this bitch's karma. I'm so sorry. I just know this is her. What's it feel like to have your entire story just unravel and fall apart through all these lies? Like, you really thought they were going to sustain, and they did for some time. They built her entire channel. These lies that she told in the beginning of her story, from the fake marriage to the fake proposal to the tools to he just got deported for this, that's what built her foundation, and it's fucking cracking. Wonder if it is. Analia, have you tried searching her up with her alias, the Garcia Sanchez? She would have been expelled due to having a baby with non-LDS. So the reason why I want to dig up the exact date that she married Ferguson is to put some of these speculations to rest. Did she birth the baby while she was legally married? Or did she marry the dude after the baby was married and then bounce back to Fidel? Yes. I would love to interview people in that town. I would love to know how people in that town actually feel about her. And I don't think it's going to match up with the way she presents herself on social media. I don't think people actually love her the way she makes it seem that they love her. I don't know. She's listening, taking notes, and telling Carlos what to say. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
So there is new drama in the Annie, La Guarita, and Carlitos debacle. Now, I'm gonna stay up front. I am Team Annie. Point blank period. I'm gonna tell you why. This woman really would have never messed with La Guarita had she not ruffled her feathers first. Mosca muerta style, right? Meaning behind the scenes, acts like she didn't do anything. Because Olivia's like, what? What happened? I don't understand why she's coming after me. Girl, be so real. I just think La Guarita underestimated her. And she came back with a lot of receipts on La Guarita's live. And listen, you are a public figure, honey. You just are. Especially because...
Yes, all of that. I don't think she cooks. Okay, thank you for bringing that up. Have y'all ever noticed she has like help tagging around everywhere in her videos? The nanny. Have you ever noticed the full-time nanny she has with her carrying her baby around? That bothers me too. Let me tell you why. One time I went to Starbucks here in Puerto Vallarta and I watched a foreigner. She was blonde, foreigner. You could tell she was from somewhere. She had her baby with a local Mexican woman that was helping her babysit the baby at Starbucks while she was on her phone. And this interaction pissed me off so bad because I'm like, why the fuck do you come on vacation and bring your kids just to hire nannies to watch them for you? Why not just leave them in the U.S.? That rubbed me the wrong way. It's giving, how do I word this without pissing people off? But it's giving the help. White women hiring Mexican women that have to leave their children alone with sitters, with somebody else, so they can come and raise white women's babies on vacation, or in Candice's position, take care of her baby she's popping out while she's over here creating content. Have you ever noticed that she has that nanny tagging around with her everywhere she goes? She don't cook that food. I don't think she cooks that food. The dinner vlogs, the nanny cooks it. She has a cooking lady. Yes, she does. She has a nanny and she has a cook that she employs. That's also why her Spanish is fucking chopped. Okay? She's not assimilating. Can we talk about the fact she's been with this man since she was 18 years old and her Spanish is fucking chopped liver? Have you followed any other creators that have been in Mexico for much less? Like Saire, Madre de Huarache? I've seen other creators that have been here for much less, and they're way more fluent in Spanish. Why do you think her Spanish is still so fucking chopped? Because she's not actually assimilating. She doesn't hang out with the locals. She hires them. The majority of her life is in English through her content and her US-based clients. Yeah. She doesn't cook that food. Her nanny does. She's not raising her babies. The nannies are. And she's not speaking Spanish because she's speaking English, bitch. She don't actually make friends with them. She has employees, including the little nanny that helps her with all her kids. The cook is her cuñada. She ain't cooking no albondigas, no chilaquiles. The bitch can't even pronounce the dish. You think she's cooking that shit? She can't even pronounce fucking chilaquiles. And you think she's cooking them? Bless your little heart. Bless your little heart. The same way that proposal didn't happen, she didn't make that dish, bitch. She didn't cook none of that. The nanny did. Dinner check from Mexico. Let me show you which is fine. Here's a problem. There would be nothing wrong with her hiring somebody to cook. I did it. The problem we have is manipulating it to make it seem like you're the one assimilating. You're the one cooking. You're the one doing this. You're the one doing that. When it's not you. That's my problem with this. I wouldn't have a problem with her hiring a cook. With her admitting I don't really use English. It's the misrepresentation of the facts to glamorize who she is. To glamorize that she lives here. She does this. She does that. Nope. She didn't cook that shit. She didn't make that shit. Just the same way that Fidel didn't. That proposal never happened. That marriage never happened. None of that shit never happened. They literally made up fucking stories to sell. And to garner views, cash apps, and Venmos and monetization. So the whole point of this YouTube channel today is, why did she lie? Why did she lie to us? There was no need for her to tell us, that she's been together with Fidel for 13 years. She could have told us, I've been with him since 2016. I've been with him for 8. The story would have hit the same. Why did you need to lie and backtrack it all the way to 18 to make it seem like something you're not? I'm just this innocent, pure little, been with him and only him. He's my baby dad. You see what I'm saying? There's no need to lie about these things. Why did you need to tell us a story about a proposal that never happened? Instead of just being, we got engaged to help him get out of ICE custody. We would have been okay with that too. There's literally no need to lie. But when we ask ourselves, why is she lying about these details that don't need to be lied about? Because then she can paint the story that would sell a lot better than the truth. Then she can paint herself out to be this non-problematic, conservative, young white woman that hasn't had any drama in her life, has never been messy, doesn't engage in drama, doesn't do things she's not supposed to. She just wants to take care of her family and keep her family together, when we all know that's not the fucking case. So the same way that she's misrepresenting her entire story is the same way she's been misrepresenting what she's been doing with me for the last 3 years. The same way she lied to y'all about the fucking proposal, the Catholic wedding, the tools, is the same way she lied to you guys when she got on here and told you guys that she's never done A, B, C, or D to me. The same way she lied to you about all those things is the same way she lied to you guys about, I didn't have anything to do with the hate campaign against Annie. I don't have anything to do with them. They're dangerous people. No, I never took opportunities from her. I never did this to her. I would never, ever be okay with somebody targeting somebody's children or livelihood. I have never engaged in this. This is the only time I'm going to talk about this. Do you see where I'm going with this? Why I've been frustrated, how I've been publicly gaslit by this bitch for 3 to 4 years about what she's doing behind the scenes. The same way she's been machining and covering up her tracks, like wiping the obituary, removing certain videos, is the same way she's been moving behind the scenes towards my platform. And conditioning creators and reaching out to the fucking nonprofit and reaching out to the fucking reporter. Well, are you working with Annie? Well, what about this? Well, what about the NDA? It's the same thing she's doing right now with fucking Carlos. Why do you think Carlos is batting for her in the comment sections? Because it would be out of character for her to get on here and address anything that I've said. So she's going to deploy people like Carlos to come batting for her in her name so that she can preserve that picture perfect image that she's worked so hard to lie about for the last 5-6 years. Yeah, okay. So all of this, when you guys ask me, what's it to you? I am unveiling her character so that I can shine light on what this bitch has been doing to me for the last 3 years behind the scenes, and how she's been privately sabotaging me. And then when I reply publicly, people treat me like I'm the problem and I'm just targeting this poor, cute little white lady that minds her business. Oh, no. She's using Mexican creators right now to do her dirty work, to do her dirty bidding. She's collecting these creators, putting them in her pocket. That fucking NDA, bring up the NDA, bitch. Let me read the NDA to you. Let me bring the NDA because we need to talk about that. I need to put that on my fucking YouTube channel and break apart a little bit more of what this, especially with fucking Carlos in here. Hold on. Ugh. This bitch is a full-time job. Candice, I don't know how the fuck you keep up with shit like this. I don't know how the fuck this bitch is sleeping at night. Okay. She issued a reply to me that I've already broken down in multiple videos, and I'm not going to focus on everything. But I want to bring you guys into that NDA so that you can understand why Carlos is doing what he's doing and how she's employing these other creators, Mexicans by the way, to do her dirty bidding. Which is exactly what you're seeing right now with Carlos. Why he's batting for her in every fucking comment section on videos that have absolutely nothing to do with him. You think she's not having conversations with him the same way she was having with fucking Carlos? Conditioning them into how she's such a victim? Okay, I'm just going to fast forward. This is her response from a month ago. Okay? Right here is what I want to read to you guys. She shared a moral and conduct policy for the the collab that she was doing with Carlos and Rafa. This is how she was trying to put these creators in her pocket. I'm going to read it to you. All members of the off the apps, blah, 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 each individual acknowledges and accepts that their public and private actions, whether conducted in person or through digital communication, including but not limited to personal social media accounts, public appearances, live streams, interviews, comments, post or reposted content, may directly impact the reputation and commercial interests of the company. Mind you, the company that she was forming with these two other creators. Standards of conduct. These are the things that she was requiring from people like Carlos and Rafa. Each individual shall refrain from engaging in any behavior, online or offline, that could reasonably be considered hateful, discriminatory, or harassing toward any protected group or individual, defamatory, fraudulent, and intentionally misleading. Bitch, you're violating your own fucking moral code right now. Violent, abusive, or threatening, criminal in nature or involving illegal substances or activities, sexually explicit or otherwise inappropriate in a manner harmful to the company's brand or image. These don't seem too crazy, but pay attention to the next clause, which talks about personal social media and public platforms. This clause applies equally to content posted on personal or professional social media accounts, including but not limited to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, LinkedIn, podcasts, blogs, group chats, or live broadcasts. Did you get all that? Did you get all that? Let me read that again. Everything, all those standards of conduct apply to all of their personal, social media, and public platforms. So in all of that content, they are restricted by her. Obligation to notify. This is the one I want you guys to pay attention to. Any individual who becomes aware of potential reputational harm, whether through legal accusations, viral content, or public controversy, must inform the other members within 48 hours. So if you see anybody talking shit about me, Carlos or Rafa, you have 48 hours to tell me. The third clause, obligation to notify. Oh, that was it. Sorry. That was part 3. Part 4. Company rights and remedies. Okay, if any individual's behavior is deemed by a majority vote of the members to materially damage or threaten the reputation of the company or its brand, the company reserves the right to issue written warning, requiring corrective action, or a public clarification. Pay attention to that. If you violate what I said, you will be issued a written warning and required to make a public clarification. Do you understand what that means? You're going to have to get on TikTok and make a public apology for this, or clear up my name publicly for me. Are you guys paying attention to this? Suspend the individual from participation in company activities or content. Require temporary or permanent removal from branding, platforms, promoted materials, or recorded media. Pursue removal as a member or owner in accordance with the terms outlined elsewhere in this agreement. All individuals agree to act in good faith to preserve the inclusive, respectful, and professional image of the Off the Apps brand at all times. Signed by Candice, October 7, 2025. And this is what made Rafa step away. This is exactly what Carlos signed this. Rafa wouldn't sign this. Okay. So in this, pay attention. Well, maybe he did. Rafa signed October 6th, 2025. Oh, that was the NDA. So he signed the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, and then the moral conduct that I just read was signed by Candice. So when you wonder, Why is Carlos batting for her the same way? This is her way to pocket other creators to do her dirty bidding. Pay attention to the wording. To restrict them from speaking out against her. If anything comes up and you make public content on this, this is going to hold you liable. You're going to be forced to make public clarifications. You are restricted in all of your content, all of your live streams, your LinkedIn, your group chats. She specified even in group chats, your content is controlled by this clause. Does anybody else see the fucking red flags in this? And this is what she's giving creators like Rafa and Carlos. Why do you think it's worded this way? Why do you think there's a specific clause about viral content? Why do you think there's a specific clause about you have 48 hours to let me know if you see something about me out there? Why do you think that is? Because within those 48 hours, I'm going to deploy you in my name to go clear, to make a public clarification for me. And that's exactly what Carlos is doing right now. That other creators have picked up the bullshit, have started making content, have spoken out against her. So when you ask yourself why Carlos over the weekend began to target Alma Rosa, that just is making cheese. So when you ask yourself why this is going on, because he's employed by this contract and he's following these guidelines. This shit is not admissible in Mexican court. Absolutely not. This is not admissible. No. But it is a way to have control over uneducated members that don't know if you can come after them or not. I can tell you that her NDA and her fucking contract lack the legal components to be able to enforce them in a court of law here. What is she doing with this shit? This is worded in English, number one. Okay, it doesn't have jurisdiction. It's missing a lot of legal factors to be able to be enforceable. But Carlos doesn't know that. Rafa doesn't know that. All they see is this big ass creator with 2 million followers, white, mind you, and they are locking into her. This is a form of control. This is a form of intimidation. And this is a form of get in my pocket. And when shit pops off, I'm not going to come out. You're going to come out. You're going to come out and make a public clarification on the viral, harmful content to my brand. This is how she's employing smaller creators to come and clear up her name. And this is exactly what Rafa said, I'm out. This is pure intimidation, and this is exactly how she works behind the scenes. I don't know why she thought sharing this was a good idea. I don't know why she thought sharing this was a good idea. And then I'll bring you back to this. In May of 2025, when she had a 23-minute video call with Rafa, venting about me and thanking him for taking her side. This is her conditioning other creators to view things through her lens. And look, right here, this is my favorite part about this message that Rafa asked. He said, let me know and I'll speak to her. Rafa asked if she wanted him to mediate with us. And somebody asked me in one of my comments, would you have listened if Rafa reached out to you? And the answer is yes. If she had allowed Rafa to reach out to me and say, hey, this has been going on for some couple years. Do you want to squash it? Absolutely would have done it. He knows that and she knows that. She declined an opportunity to end this. She knew he had rapport with me. She knew I have respect for him. She knew he had my number. She knew he had a level of understanding with me. And he offered to reach out to me to call a truce. She said no. So she loves this shit. Because if she would have allowed that, then there's no need for her to continue conditioning people to not work with me. If she would have agreed to that, we wouldn't be here. Period. So when you ask me, why do you keep talking? This is why. This is why. She wants to drag this out. She should have jumped on that opportunity. She should have jumped on the opportunity for somebody that knew me, had rapport with me, to try to level out and say, you know what, this has been going on. Let's drop it here. She didn't want to. She wanted to keep going. What she wanted was to put them in her pocket. What she got one of them. She got the weakest link, which is Carlos. Rafa said, no, thank you, ma'am. And that's why we're here today. I'm going to take that off. That's her guilty conscience. Yeah. Yeah, she was Julia's BFF. It's unfortunate that most of her followers are Hispanic. Yeah. It is unfortunate that she's been able to condition, the same way she conditioned Carlos, the same way she tried to condition Rafa, is the way that she's conditioned this community into believing her crock of shit story, and that she's this victim, victim of the immigration system, victim of Annie, victim of this, victim of that, when really it's her behind the scenes. And the same way you guys are justifying Taylor Frankie Paul on reactive abuse, this right here is me responding to, this is reactive abuse, bitch. You better co-sign me the same way you're co-signing Taylor Frankie Paul throwing those fucking 3 bar stools at her boyfriend and her kid. This is very much reactive abuse. Yeah. Thank you very much, except for I'm not a white woman. Oh, I forgot. I'm not a white woman, so you're not going to make excuses for me. You're not going to justify me the same way for reactive abuse, right? She's been mind-fucking me and all of us for 3 years. Do you know what it feels like to be publicly gaslit by this bitch for so long in front of so many people, and to have that many people continue to do it to me too? Oh, hell yeah. That shit gets to me. Like, there's just no way. Like, how am I the bad guy right now? How am I the one, when she's over here doing this type of shit behind the scenes? This bitch is a documented liar. In my own country, mind you. Thank you. And that's what adds insult to injury. I'm having to defend myself from some white entitled bitch in my own country. And you can call me racist all you want. You may not like the way that I express myself about that. I have some deep-rooted resentment that this bitch is in my own lane, in my own country, and I'm having to defend myself from her in my own fucking community. What type of bullshit is that? I dealt with bitches like this in Salt Lake City, Utah my whole life. And the fact that one of these miserable bitches followed me all the way over here, oh, you got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. I should have left this shit in Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay? It's a different type of aggravation. What she's done are direct attacks on my platform behind the scenes. I am working against a big white monster right now. A big white monster that has conditioned a large amount of the community against my brand and my platform. The fact I'm even having to defend myself over this in my own country, it enrages me. It enrages me. And that's why in one of these videos, I straight up said, if you're so fucking scared, go the fuck back to your country. If we're so dangerous out here, if you have such a threat to your livelihood, if you're so concerned about Annie getting a hold of your information, go the fuck back to Utah. Mind you, now you know, Candice, that I don't need to ask Rafa for your information. Now you know, Olandra, I don't need to ask Cisco for where you live. If I want to find something, I'm going to find it through your own content. The same way I pulled almost everything on this bitch through her own content. So I want to make it very clear. I've never received any information from any content creator on any of these motherfuckers. I could find it by myself. So I'm so done with it. I'm afraid for my safety. Are you sharing my information with Annie? For my family's safety, let me know. Bitch, you're sharing your information with Annie publicly. I found all of this through her public content. Okay? Yeah. So the root of this is I'm mad that her white privilege is not declining in Mexico. I'm mad that her lies are not declining here. I'm mad that she's exploiting our community. I'm mad that she's taking opportunities from me. I'm mad that she's conditioning creators and the community against my brand. I am a Mexican national. I am a lot of things that she's not. I had a right to be on that news article. I had a right to work with these creators. I had a right to a lot of things that she took from me with her fucking white privilege. So when I keep bouncing back to white privilege, if this lady wasn't white, we wouldn't be here. If this was a Latina creator, y'all would be saying, oh, one Mexican's enemy, el peor mexicano de un mexicano es otro mexicano, and blah, 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 blah. Because it's a white lady, she's the victim. When she's the fucking aggressor. She's a strategic, and enemies like her are some of the most dangerous ones. People like her that move behind the scenes in a strategic, manipulative, white, verbaged way are some of the most dangerous for people like us. We are fighting invisible monsters in the public eye. And we're painted out to be crazy. And we're painted out to be problematic. And you're this and you're that. And she don't do this. And that bitch is a calculated fucking snake. And the same way that she has been for many years concocting her lies, that's the same strategy that she's applied to the shit that she does behind the scenes. You just watched videos of her flat out lying comfortably. She told you an entire story about a proposal that never happened. I want you to notice the ease that she did it with, the amount of time she used her children to co-sign it. That bitch has no boundaries, no moral compass. And that is what I'm up against right now. That is the big white monster that I'm out here swinging left and right against. When you ask yourself, are you still talking about it? Hell yeah. She poses such a threat. She is such a dangerous white woman. And I hate to use that term because she's used it so loosely. That is a dangerous white woman. That is not an ally. That is not somebody that's pouring into our community. That is somebody that's exploiting behind the identity of the wife of a deported spouse. She refuses to acknowledge her privilege. That should tell you everything you need to know about her. How can this white woman be an ally if she doesn't acknowledge her privilege? You want to see a fucking ally? Go look at Mother de Huarache. There are many allies on this platform. She's not one of them. Everything she does has a return for her. Down to, and I haven't even gotten to the donations. The PTA, she started volunteering at that school once her kids started going to that school. There's a return for her on absolutely everything, and it's all financial. There's a return for her on everything. This is not somebody that's pouring into our community. This is somebody that's exploiting it and giving us peanuts of what she's taking home so that you guys have this. She does so much for the community. No, the fuck she doesn't. She sprinkles peanuts on those people. Everything has a fucking return for her. Absolutely everything. It's all calculated. It's all strategic. She's good at it. That's not an ally. That's not somebody that does so much for her community. That's somebody that takes so much from her community. That's somebody that exploits the community for her financial gain. That's somebody that lies to you guys for the sole reason to make money. And refusing to acknowledge her privilege is why it will keep repeating itself. And there's a historical context to white privilege, whether you like me or not. Whether you like me or not, or whether this story is making sense or not, there's a history to white privilege. Historically, they're the oppressors. So by continuing to shield her from the accountability, to continue to shield her from acknowledging that she has white privilege in our country, you're part of the problem. You're part of why she's so comfortable getting on here and continuing to spew these fucking lies of things that never happened for your consumption and her pockets, including using her children. I don't even want to get into it. She's a fucking Ruby Rose, Ruby Frank. What's that bitch's name from Utah that went to prison for exploiting her kids on her vlog channel? Somebody said in the comment section, and I thought it was reaching until this live, I just saw her in a completely different light. That bitch is a Ruby Frank in the making. Mark my words. Mark my words, that's a Ruby Frank in the making. The way that she's used her son and exploited him for her lies and her all that shit, that's a Ruby Frank. I gotta go pee again. Commercial break. Take a deep breath. Thank you. I'm mad too. We should all be. I'm mad as a viewer. When people are like, "Are you obsessed?" Bitch, I'm mad. I am at my wit's end with this bullshit. This has taken a lot of this has been time consuming. It has been emotionally exhausting for me. Imagine what I feel like fighting this big white invisible monster in front of you guys. This is some bullshit. I'm sorry. And then to see my own people siding with her is so hurtful to me. And I know I'm not a lovable creator like she is. I know I don't have the image. I know I'm very controversial. But to see the amount of Latinos that still are kissing her ass and that would rather glorify and support her white privilege than pour into our own is so sad. That reporter broke my heart. If I'm being completely transparent, and it's not even about like, oh, I should have been. That shit breaks my heart to see how we are a part of allowing white people to do this to us. It makes it even worse that we're part of the problem. That a Mexican reporter and a Mexican national reporter that barely speaks English, that needs ChatGPT to communicate with Candice, would rather highlight a white privileged American citizen than an actually deported Mexican national. That is heartbreaking. To see people like Carlos that are Mexican nationals co-signing this privileged white woman because of the benefit to him, because of the clout, that's heartbreaking. Like, if we really put the characters aside, put the drama aside, this shit is sad. It is sad that we grant that privilege to somebody in our own fucking country. It hits different when it's in our own country, I promise you. It's dead ass wrong. I would love to take a trip to her town and interview some locals. Absolutely. I would love a field trip. How do people actually feel about her? And I promise you it's not going to match what she portrays on her channel. Oh, we're not done. We're not done. We're not done. I'm waiting on her court records. I'm waiting on the PPP loan FOIA request. I'm waiting on the police report. We're not done. Buckle up, Candice. Buckle up, because we're far from done. We got ahead of ourselves with this live because we're all having a great time here. I was like, you know what? Let me do this and this. Yes, you can request all that. Those are public records. PPP loan applications became public records at the root of a lawsuit because there was so much fraud behind it that the government decided to make those records available to the public for transparency reasons and for fraud detection purposes. So, yeah, I have requested her PPP loans, the application, and what information she provided to receive forgiveness for those loans. I've also requested the police report, and I've also requested court records to confirm the date of her marriage to Ferguson. So I hope that the receipts match what she said in this video last month. But so far, it's not looking good for her because everything she's ever said doesn't match the receipts, from big things to small things. So I already know that these loans were fraud. But a lot of you guys continue to bat for her and say that I'm going to prove that those loans were fraud. I want to prove that those loans were fraud. And even then, there will still be people that co-sign her. There will be people that say that you're obsessed, you're just a hater. But there will be another half that will see it. And there will be a lot of you that owe me fucking apologies. And to date, there's a lot of you that owe me apologies that I will never receive. But that alone vindicates. The deeper I get into this rabbit hole, I make assumptions on certain things, and then I come back the next episode and I have receipts for it, and all my assumptions so far have been right. All of my assumptions about this case has been right. The marriage, the proposal story is something I pieced together on live with you guys today. Okay? These are like my fucking fraud radar never fails me, bitch, because you're talking to one. Oh, me and Candice, we would have been besties. Candice, we could have did our big one. We could have did our big one in Salt Lake City, Utah together. Mm-hmm. Me and Candice, we're two peas in a pod. And here's the thing. She's done what she needed to do to get her family by, right? Some of you later on will come by and tell me that. She did what she needed to do. So did I. And that's what you guys beat me up for felonies that are over a decade old. That's what I got deported for. I did what I had to do to get my family by. Y'all don't have no grace for me. None. And y'all already have grace for her. You're already entertaining, even if she did. She was doing it for her family. Well, me too. Me too. No grace for me. I'm the deported felon. She's a scammer. She's this, she's that. De ahí no me sueltan. Those same people telling me or like judging me for my history are the same people excusing hers. And we're going to come back to square one that it's white privilege. It's okay when a white lady is committing fraud because she's just doing it for her family. But let it be Latina and we're going to crucify you for her. These are federal crimes. The crimes her husband committed are also federal. These are big timers. You know, I'm just a state offender. I'm a fucking nobody with state felonies. I'm not even a federal offender yet. We're going to sign up for this field trip. There's 2 criminals in that house, promise you. Oh yeah. And then here's the other part. When you talk about how much she does for Mexico, does she pay taxes? When people are like, she has a right to those loans, she pays American taxes. Okay, well, she's been living here for a decade. Is she paying taxes to Mexico? Probably not. She does have an obligation to it. You develop tax obligations after living in Mexico for 6 months. You think she pays her taxes? Probably not. There's a reason why she's not a Mexican citizen. It's not beneficial for her. So is she really contributing to us? Or is she taking advantage of us? You think she pays her? Do you think she's registered with the SAT? Probably not. Probably not. But she does so much. She's part of the foreigners that take advantage of the lax laws, exploit us, don't pay taxes, live here, spend their dollars, build their mansions, and you guys glorify her for it. Ask somebody in Ciudad de Mexico how they feel about her. Ask a local how they feel about her story. Ask a real local how they feel about what she does. About how she earns her money, where her taxes are paid to. Ask somebody. Not somebody on the internet. Ask somebody in her town how they feel about what she does for her town. Everybody that co-signs her live in the U.S. The majority of the audience, U.S. based. Put her story on Mexican TikTok. Tell me how people respond to it. Interview a local. Interview that dog shelter. Somebody go ask the dog shelter what she donates every month. If she allegedly does. According to her, she donates all the proceeds of her TikTok to an animal shelter. Somebody go ask the animal shelter how much they've received from her. And compare it to what she makes. And compare it to her numbers. She should that animal shelter by now would be revamped to a state-of-the-art facility if she was actually donating her TikTok revenue to them. Promise you. They would have doubled or tripled in size by now. For the amount of years she's been saying that she donates to that dog shelter, it would have been thousands, millions of pesos by now. But everybody just takes her word for it. She does so much. She donates to the local animal shelter. Where? How much does she donate? Why doesn't anybody question it? Oh, because she's a cute little white lady putting so much back into the Mexican community. Suspicious. Oh, she owns a dog shelter. De mal en peor way. She owns the shelter? How the fuck does she own the shelter? Oh, I'm done with her. She's going to end up owning the school next. Ask people how they feel about her owning the shelter. Ask a local how they feel about her owning those businesses. And I'm going off the comment section. I haven't verified, but ask somebody how they feel about her owning local businesses. Crazy. I don't know. I'm going off the comment section. Someone says she owns it. And maybe we need to do some vetting antes de colgarme, but that's crazy. That's crazy. And then for those of you that are like, she does so much for the school. Don't her kids go to school there? Remember when I volunteered to be an English teacher at my kids' school? Did you guys clap for me the same way that you clap for her? No. You guys didn't glorify me for teaching English at my kids' school, right? She's doing the same shit. She's teaching English at the school that her kids attend. She's volunteering at the school that her kids attend. So there's a return for her on that community service, on those donations. Was she working for this school before her kids started attending it? Did she make donations for these schools before her kids were there? No. It wasn't until her kids started attending there. So is it really a genuine contribution in community service, or is there a return for her on this community service that she's doing, on these donations? How much money is she making off of these vlogs, and how much is she donating? Nobody ever questions that, right? It's the way that she's exploiting this small town off this small pueblo content and giving them fucking peanuts, versus what is she taking home by creating content on these people? Be mad at the people for supporting her? We are. This is why I'm making the content. We're part of the problem. We've given that privilege to her. And the same way that we gave it to her is the same way that y'all should revoke it. I revoked mine years ago. When I found out about her story, you got me fucked up. I'm not co-signing nobody that has a fucking woman beater sleeping next to them. Hell no, I'm sorry. As somebody with my own personal experiences with DV, you will not see me glorifying that love story across borders. This is a perfect example of how y'all platformed a fucking liar and a scammer. And it's okay to be a liar and a scammer, but you got to be retired. There should be some accountability. Her house is taking longer than the Taj Mahal. Why is it taking so long? Because that's her moneymaker. How many monthly donations do you think on average she receives for her build? I promise you, the reason why it's taking so long is not because she's short of money. They're dragging it as much as they can to maximize the amount of money they're making. They're not only building a house. They're not just getting a house out of this. They're building a house plus making a profit off of building a house. Pay attention. Would you be in a rush to finish that house if you're paying rent somewhere? How the fuck did I finish my house before? I started after and finished before her. Now, mind you, mine's not a big hacienda, but she's not short on staff. She's not short on money. There's no reason it should be taking this long. Why is it taking this long? Ask yourself. She's stretching that motherfucker as far as she can because that is the root of her content. There's people that have told me, I just watch for her house updates. I really enjoy her house build. What's she going to do once the house is built? Then what? Where are the donations going to come from? Where are the brands going to come from? That's her fucking cash cow, is that house build. So that's why it's taken so many fucking years. Common sense, maybe build another one, right? Maybe build another one. Don't forget her husband was pulled over because a cop thought they were some from construction site. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. I'm sure imagine how much she's paying her workers. How much are you paying your workers? We're not going to question none of that because she does so much for her community. I remember one time when I made a video about my cleaning lady, I got chopped. How much are you paying her? You're not paying her enough. You're exploiting her. Blah, 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 blah. Remember when I used to make videos about what my cleaning lady and my cook. And I remember there was one video that went viral. They were chopping me up for what I paid for her. I never seen nobody asking Candice what she pays her help. That double standard I keep talking about. They're getting peanuts, I promise you. Especially because it's a small town. So the salaries there are peanuts. For what she's making, how do you think she affords to hire the help, the cook, the albañiles, all that? And if you're going to ask me how I paid for it, I sold my fucking ass, okay? How did I, and mind you, I was struggling. When I built my house, it was the biggest financial struggle I've ever encountered. Okay, I was paying about $2,000 a month in labor plus material, plus my kids' tuition. How did I do it? I had to sell my ass, Betty. Okay, a lot of it, a lot of titties. Okay, and then I was also doing my content. I was doing wheels. I was doing raffles. Okay, so yeah, it's not easy to keep up with expenses like that. I've seen some people, well, how did Annie do this? Annie owns 2 houses. I sell my ass. Any other questions? You can make good money doing that. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I've built my house off my honest US-based work. I'm selling my ass, Susan. Do you see how there's a difference in misrepresenting what a hard worker I am? I'm just over here working 10 and 12-hour days for these US-based companies. I'm also making content. I'm also doing this. I'm so tired and I don't have enough time for this. No, Susan, I'm selling titties. Titties. And that's okay. That's okay for me to do that. What's wrong would be for me to get up here and create a false expectation that you can do this too. All you have to do, if you get deported, you can do this. Do you see what would be wrong about me not mentioning my OnlyFans? Because that's an advantage. Okay, so it's not realistic for me to sell this dream that you can come out here and do this too. No, I had to sell my ass to do this. Annie lives a glorified life. She sells her ass. How does she afford to She sells her ass. It's not from no MBA. It's not because I'm working blah, blah, blah. Yes, I work on the side too. I've told you guys, I've done my little vlogs. I do this, the university. But the big scheme of things, I built that house with my OnlyFans money. I'm not going to misrepresent it to you because it sells a false expectation to other people that are in the same situation. It's unrealistic. It's harmful to the community for me to get on here and tell you that I just work my ass off. When really I sell my ass off. There's no need for me to lie. My lies would harm my community. My lies could harm people in the same situation that are trying to make life-changing decisions of whether they want to move voluntarily out to Mexico. My lies could affect people currently in deportation proceedings that are considering whether or not to sign off on their fucking deportation orders. My lies could impact innocent people without criminal records in the U.S. to make them believe that they're going to be snatched off the streets on their way to work and targeted by law enforcement because they look like illegal immigrants. Look at the impact of the lies onto the community when you ask me, why are you still talking about this? Look at the importance of creating platforms with realistic expectations because there's people watching us. There's people in life-altering situations that are looking to us for fucking answers. They're looking to Candice to decide if they should pack up their kids and move to Mexico with their husbands. And they're basing their decisions off of fucking lies. Straight fucking lies. Straight. I just showed you today that they're straight lies. So now do you understand why it is so harmful for a white privileged woman to get on here and sell a story that is false? With the false narrative, false expectations that's riddled with a ripple effect onto that community that she's monetizing from. All you people that donated to her, the majority of you Latinos with husbands and wives and families that are facing deportation, she's taking your money without giving a fuck of how her information could affect you or yours. She's selling a big ass lie. When she initially told you guys that her husband was deported for being at the wrong place at the wrong time, how many of you guys worried about your husbands being in the wrong place at the wrong time before we had this administration that was honestly just targeting people and snatching them off the streets? During the time in 2016, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that in 2016. They weren't just taking people for random shit. So she sold the story that made it seem like, hey, hide your kids, hide your wives, because ICE is out there just pulling people over. Honest, hardworking men on their way to work are getting deported for no reason. And she still has the nerve to put herself on these fucking articles representing the struggle of deportation. When you ask yourself, why do you care so much about the article? I am enraged that this white privileged woman has lied her way to the top, plastered her face as a struggle, and it's not a real, it didn't go down like that. And it should enrage the entire community. So her story is not realistic. Most of us can't come out here and build mansions with our families and live happily ever after. My story might not be realistic to you. You can't come out here and afford private tuition for 5 kids unless you're willing to sell your ass. The majority of us aren't going to go viral like this. Okay, so it's not realistic for me to sell it to you. Most of us aren't going to come on here and blow up like Candice and get Cash App and Venmos every month and get brand deals and get donations and be able to build an entire paid off mansion and profit at the same time. That's not going to happen like that for most of us. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. So, yeah. La mayoría de la gente en México no tiene la habilidad de hacerse una casonona. Sí, es cierto. No digo que no existan oportunidades, ni préstamos, etc., but that shit's not realistic. That's a fantasy. It's not real. None of that is real. The love story is not real. The deportation story is not real. The proposal story is not real. The Catholic wedding story is not real. None of it's fucking real. Stop letting a white woman who has no idea what the struggle is like sell you a dream. Try to tell you that you could do it if I did it. You just got to do that. She doesn't know what it's like to have to rebuild out here. She had an advantage that most of us will not have. Her husband had an advantage that most of us don't have. Her husband had it made. He never struggled either. He landed with her support. She was his cushion. So Fidel can't even get on here and tell you what a realistic expectation of deportation is because he had this white woman cushioning his fall. You think he ever had a struggle with money or being homeless or struggling to find employment? You think he ever had to struggle? No. Candice made sure he didn't. With her white privilege, with her U.S. Social Security number, with her MBA, with her dollars. They didn't struggle. Not what an actual deported person is going to struggle with. So you're taking advice from the wrong fucking people on what life in Mexico is actually like, what life after our deportation is actually like. It's not that. And I live in Utah, I'm still trying to build out Mexico. Yeah. I gotta go pee again. Commercial break. Okay, YouTube. I think we're gonna wrap up here on YouTube so I don't make this video too long. I'll stay on TikTok. If you're just joining on TikTok and you probably missed most of the receipts, I would encourage you to head over to my YouTube channel where you can replay. I will have this live available for public replay. Hold on, sorry, I'm cutting my charger. Yikes. Okay. Okay, so this live is already a little bit long. Confession? I've been rewatching all of my own lives. Can I say the Cheeseman has been so good that I've been watching my own shit. I've been replaying my own shit. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to wrap up my live. I'm going to go cook lunch and dinner for my kids, and I'm going to listen to my own live while I'm cooking dinner. Highly encourage you to watch my most recent live that we just hosted on my YouTube channel. It is going to be free, available to the public. What I'll also do is timestamp, just like I have on my past videos. So if you don't want to watch the whole thing, timestamp certain bullet points that are important in the video that you can fast forward to. Just give me till a couple hours so that I can rewatch it and bullet point those. You missed the link. Will be I'll post it on my TikTok story once I end the live. So for my YouTube subscribers, thank you so much for joining my live. Thank you to those of you that have subscribed. Thank you to my gifters, to those of you that sent Cheesema bucks. We're not done. I'm awaiting the police report on the DB. I'm awaiting the grammar FOIA request on the PPP loans, and I'm awaiting additional court records to verify the marriage date to Ferguson. So when that all comes in, I'll do another video. I'm trying to compile everything so we can hit it all in one video the same way that we chronologically went down some of the receipts in this video. I've been catching up on the playlist from years ago. Yeah, it goes back pretty long. So, okay, to my YouTube girlies, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys on the flip side, and let's roll back over to TikTok. I will continue my live for a little bit over here, but I want to wrap up this particular episode so that it doesn't create too long and that it just sticks to the points that we wanted to cover. Okay,